sketch the graph of the function f of x equals 1 minus 6 over 2x plus 3, stating the coordinates of any axial intercepts and the equations of any asymptotes. Alright, now we're going to be sketching this curve, but I want to start it on a calculator page. So I've got a calculator page here. So this time I'll do the same thing. I will go Menu, Actions, Define, and I'm going to call my function this time f1 of x. The reason I'm calling it f1 of x is because then the calculator page will know about this function. Because the calculator page and the graphs page are all linked. We want the template for the fraction, so Control Divide. We're going to type in 6, and in the bottom line 2x plus 3. I didn't really need the multiply there, so I didn't put it in. Okay, if we want to find for any graph where it's going to cross the x-axis, that's where y is equal to 0. So effectively, that's solving the equation where f1 of x is equal to 0. So if we go Menu, Algebra, Solve, and I can press the var command, that'll give me the function f1 of x, so I can just press enter. f1 of x equals to 0 for x. So that'll give me the x value of the coordinate where this graph crosses the x-axis. Where it crosses the y-axis is the value of where x is equal to 0. So really all I have to do is press enter and press 0 here, and that'll give me the y value of -1. Now, be very careful in these type of questions because the question did say coordinates. Just typing in x equals 3 on 2, y equals 0 is not a coordinate. We must write in as coordinates. Alright, so now just open up a graphs page. You can do this a number of ways. I press the on key and then scroll down to the calculator page. And if I just press up arrow now, that function is there. Because I typed it in on the calculator page, it knows about it. So there's my graph. The window scale is fairly okay. I don't really need to change any of that. But it would be nice if we could actually have these coordinates of these x-intercepts and y-intercepts there. We had them on the calculator page, but on a graphs page, the menus now are different for this page. So if I press Menu, the option we want here is Analyze Graph, and option number 1 is 0, is where the graph crosses the x-axis. So if we press 1 here, and move the cursor slightly to the left of the 0, and then slightly to the right of the 0, we get the coordinate of the x-intercept. We can find the coordinate of the y-intercept a number of ways. There's a number of ways of doing this. One way is to perhaps use the geometry command here, and just to stick a point on the graph. So geometry, points and lines, point on, and I'll try to put it on the right spot here, which I got it exactly, and you can see in the right hand corner the tool is putting some more points on the graph, so I'll press escape, and that point is then anchored to the screen. So they are coordinates now. 1.50 is the coordinate of the x-intercept, 0 minus 1 is the coordinate of the y-intercept. The calculator does not draw the asymptotes in. We can draw the asymptotes in if we want to draw them, just to see how the graph is approaching. There are a number of ways we can do this as well. If we press now Menu, Graph Entry Edit. Now, there's some new features in some versions, sort of 4.4 or version 3, about some equation templates and some relations and some functions here. So let's have a look at equation templates. Option number 1 here is line. So we can actually put in a vertical line. Where is the asymptote? Well, the asymptote is where the denominator was 0. The denominator was 2x plus 3, so the vertical line for the asymptote is at x equal to minus 3 over 2. That will then give me the vertical asymptote. I can move that label out of the way. The y-intercept, the y horizontal asymptote is at y equals 1. Another way we could actually get that is to work out the limit. So for example, if I press the template here and go to the limit, if I type in the limit as x approaches infinity, well, we can get the infinity from the pi button here. Limit as x approaches infinity of the function f of x. So I'll just press the var command here, type in the x. That gives me 1. So y equals 1 is the horizontal asymptote. So pressing Control right arrow or pressing on the tab, if I just, well, I can do this a number of ways. Perhaps the easiest way is the function command here. Pressing the menu, graph entry edit, we can just do it as a function. This time it's just y equals 1. Notice they come up in different colors, and we can change the attributes of those to dotted lines if we want. Now this is really just for making it look rather pretty. So if we press Control menu, brings up the properties command, and option number 3 is the attributes. So if we move the cursor down, rather than continuous, we can actually have the asymptote as dotted. And I think that looks nice to have the dotted asymptote. And for the vertical asymptote here, again, we can change the color with the Control menu, which is a property of the attributes. We'll change that one also to red, and we'll also change the attributes of that one so that it's dotted as well. So we've got the asymptotes there, y equals 1 and x equals -3 on 2 when the denominator is 0. So that is a full sketch of a graph showing the actual coordinates of the x and y intercepts. So now the procedures for sketching graphs like that is the same no matter what the graph is. Okay, you could sketch cubics, quadratics, whatever you like there.